welcome to Sports Talk with King Von. Today is Wednesday. Let's recap everything that happened in all four sports yesterday. To start off, yesterday we had Game 4 of the World Series where the Rangers destroyed the Diamondbacks in the first four innings, and the Diamondbacks came back to narrowly lose this game. In the third inning alone, the Rangers were up 10-0. I, I don't know what to say besides the Rangers are just the better team, and it looks like the Diamondbacks Cinderella run has finally came to an end. I have enjoyed watching the Diamondbacks play, but the Rangers are a juggernaut on a mission. They are not losing another game. The series will be done in 5. Bye bye, Diamondbacks. Okay, in hockey, we had 2 games yesterday. One, the Vancouver Canucks beating the Nashville Predators 5-2, and the second game of the LA Kings beating the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-2. They're both 5-2. But for LA, this is a statement win. A good team beating another good team. You need these types of wins throughout the season to be able to solidify yourself as a playoff contender. The problem with Toronto and LA is how far can their goaltending bring them. They both have really good teams all around beside the goaltender position. I don't see either of these teams going very far in the playoffs because of this, unless they trade for a goaltender right away. In basketball, we had a close game yesterday. A thriller of a game, even. The Spurs beat the Suns 116-115, where the Spurs were down 20 points in the fourth quarter. 20. And Wembanyama willed his way back to beating the Suns. This is a storybook loss for the Suns, I think. Their offense is so good to where they get out to such a big lead, but their defense at the end of the day will choke the game away. I just don't think the Suns can win a championship with Jusuf Nurkic at your center and all of this defensive problems you have. Once they get a defensive center, I think they have a chance, but right now, no way. Okay, let's talk about the NFL yesterday. It was Tuesday, but it was trade deadline Tuesday, so we had a whole bunch to talk about. Let's get started. First, we have my favorite player getting traded to the Chicago Bears, Montez Sweat. It's a good trade for the Commanders for getting a second-round pick, but Montez Sweat is a really good player. I really like to watch him play. But how much can one defensive lineman impact how many wins you're going to have on the season? Not that many by himself. So I just don't understand why the Bears would pick him up when you're not trying to compete this year for a second round pick. This just feels kind of like the Chase Claypool pickup last year, just way better because Montez Sweat's going to actually produce for you. Montez Sweat has more sacks than the entire Chicago Bears team right now. Chase Young got traded to the San Francisco 49ers for a third-round pick. They got less value for Chase Young than they did Montez Sweat. I feel like that's a little flipped, but it's whatever. This makes San Francisco's defensive line the scariest in the league. No questions asked. Minnesota finally fixed their quarterback problem yesterday. They traded for Josh Dobbs from Arizona. He should do okay as a backup, and he's gonna be able to come in if Jared Hall is not ready to take that starter role. Minnesota in general is just screwed this year. You can't really plan for your quarterback to tear his Achilles. Ezra Cleveland was traded from Minnesota to the Jags. This is just more offensive lineman depth for the Jags, especially at center, where they're running short at after an injury to their starting center last week. And the final trade of the day was Rasul Douglas from the Packers to the Bills. The Bills add on their cornerback depth, and the Packers aren't going to have to pay him this summer where they probably needed to. I think it's a win-win for both teams. They got a third-round pick for him. That's pretty good. And at the end of the video, like how they fired him last night in the middle of the night. Josh McDaniels and their GM, Zellweger, are both fired from the Raiders. Their linebacker coach is now the new interim head coach. About time. Josh McDaniels has been a bad coach now 3 separate times. Why can't teams realize he is not a good head coach? Keep him an offensive coordinator and not head coach. He doesn't know how to manage personnel. Thank you for watching Sports Talk with King Von.